Hello, National University Academy students, parents, supporters, friends and family, and those of you out there who just like to support schools that are doing things to keep their field trips going, their sports programs going, as well as their speech and debate teams, etc. With the budget cuts here in San Diego and all across the state and the country, as it pertains to schools, teachers are doing innovative things to try to make school or interesting and keep it vital and exciting for students. So not only so they come in every day and are informed and get their standards-based education, but also so they get that social emotional interaction, and they get out in their communities and see how what they're learning in the classroom can be applied to the real world. So one of the things we're doing next year is we're going to we're going with World Strides over to Washington, D.C. and New York City. And while we're there, we want to take in some of the monuments, and we want to get in that travel experience in Washington, D.C. and see a bit of our history as Americans. And with 4th of July here, we're thinking a lot about that right now. We're also going to go to New York City, to Ground Zero and other locations. Going to see a Broadway play as well. So many of our students that will be going on this trip have never flown in a plane. Some have, some haven't. Many students have not traveled outside of the state, so this is exciting for many of them. What I wanted to go over with you is just some idea of how these cuts are really starting to affect schools in San Diego, affect our popular culture, our music, our classic art, etc. And so I'm going to go over a few things that are you're going to start to see coming up here with respect to the budget cuts, not only in the local schools, but in your popular music, and both from the 60s and 70s all the way to today. I'm going to start off with Rydell High.
School dropout, no graduation day for you. School dropout.
You may remember Olivia Newton-John and John Travolta's performances in those. Well, people forget that Rydell High had its budget issues as well, and today it's still struggling with it. The Beauty School Dropout, for example, you remember Frankie Avalon sang the song "Beauty School Dropout, Go Back to High School." Well, with the budget cuts, she wanted to enroll in the summer program this year, and Rydell High did not have the budget to offer a summer program. So the Beauty School Dropout dropped out. Beauty School tried to enroll again. No summer school. A few other things to talk about. The Ramones. You'll remember Joey Ramone passed not too long ago. But if you do remember the Ramones, or if you remember their music, you might recall that they had a song called Rock'n'Roll High School. You may have forgotten, however, that they went on to start a school. They actually made the Rock'n'Roll High School a reality. They had a popular sedation dentistry program. Of course, that was inspired by the song I Want to Be Sedated. Of course, many Ramones fans did indeed want to be sedated. So their popular dance that they had every year at the Rock'n'Roll High School, the Blitzkrieg Bop, it's kind of their aggressive Sadie Hawkins kind of dance. The girls just go and grab their mate and pull them into the dance. It was that was canceled, of course, because of budget cuts, and the school had to close down. So, let me give you another example. You may remember Mr. Hand from Ridgemont High. It's Piccoli walks in the classroom, orders pizza, etc. Hand has been given the pink slip, kind of a golden parachute kind of thing, because they can pay probably 3 teachers for what they're paying him now. I don't know if that's entirely bad. Mr. Hand wasn't always an effective teacher, but they're letting Mr. Hand go from Ridgemont High. High School Musical. Some of you are familiar with High School Musical. I'll make this quick. If you liked the High School Musical series, they were considering another series, but they're having budget. They're trying to get this High School Musical going, and with the budget cuts and the teacher layoffs, some of the teachers in High School Musical got their pink slips. So they are doing one last High School Musical. It's going to be a budget blues kind of production, and I'll see if I can get some of those songs out to you. You Gleeks out there, you'll want to know more about William McKinley High School and Mr. Schuster and the whole New Directions crew are having trouble keeping their music program and arts programs going. They're changing their New Directions program to new donations. They would like your donation, so if you can donate to them. So you Gleeks out there, pay attention. It's affecting everyone. Few progressive rockers of the 1970s and 80s. Who remembers Pink Floyd? Well, some of my students may not, but some of my parents or some of my friends and family may recall Pink Floyd. You'll remember that in The Wall, there's that song, teacher, leave those kids alone. And the big issue there was that some of the bricks that made up that wall, that at least in my opinion, kept kids out of prison. That was the wall that kept them out. The wall was made up of teachers, these authority figures that crush their passions and their dreams. Not my version of what a teacher does, but hey, it matches up with some of your experiences out there. Nonetheless, you'll notice that the wall, and Pink Floyd's The Wall, has fewer bricks. So you'll notice a lot of the dams and the levees around Mississippi. Think Katrina here. You're wondering why these levees are breaking. Less bricks, things start to break. So they're changing the name of West Side Story. I won't go there, but if you have any ideas, let me know. School of Athens. Now let's get to some classic art. You'll notice some changes to the School of Athens I want to alert you to. They're facing budget cuts there as well. Raphael's great fresco is coming under fire, and so the school is facing some budget decisions. The intellectual faculty, the great philosophers there of Roman antiquity, as well as the pagan idols, the Christian prophet Jeremiah, Heraclitus, and others, are all facing, getting pink slips at this time. Plato, who's barefoot and bald, so they're thinking, well, why do we have this hippie on our staff? Let's cut him. We'll hold on to Aristotle because at least he has his ethics. And then with Pythagoras, and Euclid, they're going, well, we need to keep our math and science teachers, so they're holding on to Pythagoras and Euclid. There's also a decision to cut Zoroaster. There was a misunderstanding. Zoroaster's down at the bottom of the painting, spinning the globe on his finger. They thought he was a PE teacher spinning a basketball, so they're cutting him from the School of Athens. It's a shame. And then, of course, the self-portrait in there. There's Raphael puts himself in the portrait, kind of an Alfred Hitchcock kind of move there. What's happening there is they want Raphael himself to leave his own School of Athens. Because they say, well, we don't need another art teacher. We've got plenty of those. In fact, we have none, but we don't need one because we don't have the budget for it. And then Heraclitus, the kind of pensive liberal down there at the bottom, they don't want him misleading students, so they're cutting Heraclitus. And the prophet Jeremiah up above, apparently, the secular groups want him out. So, you're losing a lot of great staff there at the School of Athens. There's ways you can help your own schools, and if you'd like to reach out and help our school, go to iGive, download the toolbar, and start using it. Again, you're not making the donation. The company is, whether you're using Amazon.com or Libris, or you're buying things online from Walgreens or what have you. All those purchases that you make online, there are over 900 stores there. The purchase you make, if you're going to make an online purchase anyway, part of that, percentage of that will go to our school. So consider it, and thank you for listening.